Alright. Yo, what is going on, you guys? It's your boy, 3 Stickity Stacks, and it's Thing Baby, representing TKOG. And I actually decided to follow up on the Ancient Warrior combos I was going to show you guys for the Ancient Warrior Tri-Brigade list. But I actually, for this video, I really wanted to show you guys what Ancient Warriors could do by themselves. I actually, since showing that profile, went right back to Pure. And I went in on basically like a going second build. It's super fun. It's actually really gratifying. For some reason, like, comboing off with this deck just feels, I don't know why it is, it feels more gratifying than comboing off with other decks. This deck just doesn't seem like it would, on pen and paper, be able to do a lot, but I'm going to show you guys some really cool combos that end on decent interruptions, follow-ups, and a really consistent recursion. I think the best board is what, 2 bounces, an Omni Negate, plus a Speller Trap Negate. That's like the best board you can make right now without investing every single card in your hand. So that's still 4 disruptions. Granted, this is like a deck that normally wants to go second. The fact that you can do so much with your inboards going first is really strong. You can actually make a Toad on your 5th summon to play around Nibiru, and it's just really cool. If you have not done so already, please subscribe to the channel. It really does help a lot. Honestly, it goes a long way. If you want to support me in any other way, you can either join my Discord, which is free and awesome. The Discord community is really dope. You can also buy my merchandise or even become a member of the Patreon. The lowest tier is only $3, and for $3 a month, you're honestly supporting me a lot. You guys have no ideas. A lot of a little bit really does add up. And also at the same time, you do get exclusive content that's Patreon only. If you link your Patreon to the Discord, you will find your channel that is basically going to be for you. Depending on what channel you are, you will also see all the other members in that tier, which is really dope. But without further ado, let's get into it. So let's get started with a simple combo. So normally when I do combo tutorials, I start with 1 card, then I go up from there. I also have a really fire Frankenstein list coming for you guys soon. It is a going second Infernoid, Invoked, Dogmatica, Shaddoll, Lair of Darkness deck. I know it sounds crazy, I know it sounds clunky. It really worked. It's awesome. I can't wait to show you guys. It is absolutely a Frankenstein deck. It was a concept that I've been thinking about for a while and wanting to try out, and I finally got the cards IRL, so I figured why not go for it. It is absolutely something that I wasn't sure would work at first, but being me, I just figured why not give it a shot and see what we can do. So let's start with the first combo. It's just going to be a Tinky. It's better to draw Tinky than it is to draw Sunmoo, because Tinky can pay the cost for Sunmoo, making it a simple 1-card combo that is self-contained without requiring any extra resources for your cost. So we're going to Tinky out for, thank you Lord Jesus, our Sunmoo. If you're going second and you had a 3 visits, I would recommend, if you're going second and you have a 3 visits, to, especially if you have East by South Winds. I played 3 of this in my list. This card literally says no, your opponent can't respond to Jack Squat, so you can actually use this to pay cost for stuff like Lu Shang and etc. And it'll activate its effect in Grave to make sure your opponent can't respond. So sometimes going second, if you have 3 visits, you want to go Lu Jing, and then basically summon Lu Jing on 3 visits, trigger to search Sunmoo, pay cost off Lu Jing to send 3 visits for cost, eat an Ash Blossom for your troubles, summon Sunmoo, and keep comboing off that way. So there's really cool ways that you actually can bypass certain choke points, but in this combo we're actually just going to go for a Sunmoo. We're then going to summon Sunmoo, use his effect, send Tinky for cost, and we're going to go ahead and grab ourselves a copy of Ingenious, activate his effect, and special summon him. Multiple routes you can go here. This is a Abyss Dweller, this is a Tornado Dragon, this is heck. If you're going second, it's an Excidon Knight. If worst case scenario, let's say you Dark Roller them and you just need to clear the field, 1 card gets you an Excidon Knight. It's a Castel. It's any rank 4 in the game. It's Baguska, but actually I like to take it a step further and get my engine online a bit. So I go with double Dragon Lords. You can go any of the routes I just mentioned. All the aforementioned routes are great. It is a 1-card rank 4, which means you can also double or nothing your opponent to death. Under a Mystic Vine, it's super funny. Double Dragon Lord is going to search Rebellious Lu Fang, and we're actually going to special summon Lu Fang. And believe it or not, This is actually going to be summon number 4 because we have our normal, our special, and then our special. So this combo is under 5 summons, and it's going to get you 2 really solid disruptions off of just 1 Tinky, which can carry over into your next turn, because if nothing happens to these, this is another double Dragon Lords, because he can pay the cost for himself or be used as a material to summon another copy of himself. So really cool combo. It's great. It's one of the simplest ways to get your engine going. And worst case scenario, if your opponent makes you go first and you draw 4 going second cards and a Tinky, you could still make some plays in your first turn. So let's take it a step further and let's go into a really awesome combo that I love so much. I think 3 Visits is the most powerful spell in this deck. It's so great. It's super awesome. It absolutely nullifies a hand trap just off of activating it and resolving it. It's an incredible card. It makes this deck so powerful. So we are going to show 2 variances. We should have shown 2 variants of Tinky. Like, I could show you, like, let's say you're going second, and since this is a going second deck, you want to Dark Ruler your opponent. You want to Dark Ruler them, Kaiju them, etc. Heck, I started playing Dark Hole because it just clears everything except for Tri-Brigade Revolt in the Tri-Brigade matchup. So, like, let's say you're going second, off 1 Tinky, you can Lucian, send Tinky. This is only if it resolves, of course, only if it resolves. You can actually summon out a copy of Sun Mu, use Sun Mu's effect, pay cost, and you can grab yourself a copy of... This is all, of course, if it resolves. Just understand that these combos are just showing you guys what you can do when you get the cards and you actually are able to play Yu-Gi-Oh! So we would pay cost for Sun Mu, send another card off. Grab the Zhu Kong, activate his effect to summon himself, and then from here, link these 2 off into a Double Dragon Lords. Double Dragon Lords effect is also going to proc Sun Mu, so if you Kaiju'd your opponent here, you would bounce the Kaiju back to your hand, Kaiju them again. Yes, I do play Kaijus because I think it's a really cool interaction. But Sun Mu is going to trigger after the Double Dragon Lords activates. Double Dragon Lords here. You can go ahead and grab you a copy of Lu Feng. It can grab you also, if you just want to put pressure into the board, you can grab yourself a copy of East by South Winds. Both of these are great options for your 1-card Lu Xuan combo. So you special Lu Feng, that's a lot of damage. This guy's going to be at 23, this guy's at 33, this guy's at 16. It's a lot of damage. You get a bounce for your troubles. If you need another bounce, you have another bounce. You have another pop. So this is a good way to clear a field. If you Dark Rulered your opponent, you want to follow up with the board wipe, right? Let's say you didn't search Lu Feng and you needed to clear an entire field. Especially when you're playing against decks that don't have great recovery, and normally when their board gets broken, it's really hard for them to make anything on the follow-up. You go East by South Winds, go ahead and activate this effect, play the gamble. If the gamble doesn't work, activate Double Dragon Lords, send this for cost anyways, bounce one of your opponent's cards, this effect triggers Engrave, now nothing can be responded to, and then when these guys declare an attack, they just pop a card non-targeting, and it's when they declare an attack, which is amazing. So it's a really cool way. Really cool ways that you can break a board just off of a Tinky. Very, very awesome. I'm sorry I didn't show that in the first place, but there you go. Those are your cool Tinky combos. So now we're getting into Tinky. And yes, this is absolutely a 3 of. I play 3 East by South Winds because I just think this card is actually very, very nutty. I call it broken in its own right. Some people might not think it's broken because it's not generic, but for its own deck, it's actually very, very gross because you can actually pay cost with this card. And what happens is you can either shoot through 2 negates, or if your opponent just doesn't read cards, like most Yu-Gi-Oh players don't, you go effective East by South Winds. They don't respond to it. Alright, now all my Ancient Warriors can activate their effects with the Magical Meltdown protection. And then when I declare an attack, I'm going to clear your whole field. It's a great 3 of when you're going second. Only when you're going second. And it's also another Ancient Warrior Speller Trap, which gives you fodder for Ingenious. I'm going to show you some Ingenious combos as well, because he actually is a monster negate and a Speller Trap negate on legs in one, but the cost is these guys. The Ancient Warrior spells and traps pay the cost. So normally you only give them either a monstrous effect negation or a Speller Trap negation. You have to invest a lot to give them both, but it is possible in his own deck. It's not that hard. It's just you have to invest more cards into your board. So 2-card combo now, Tinky 3 Visits. Tinky, I'll show you going first and going second. Tinky for Sun Mu. summon Sun Mu, I'm sorry, activate 3 visits, summon Sun Mu, trigger 3 visits, add Zhukong, activate his effective special. You can use Sun Mu, send 3 visits for cost to add. So if this was going first, this is what I would do. Add Zhukong in special, activate Zhukong, send Tinky for cost, and grab yourself either an East by South or 3 visits. It depends if you want to burn another 3 visits. It can come up though, because you're going to set yourself up decent amount of negates. Because actually, if you guys read Zhukong, so he has his spell of trap negation. He requires no. I'll show you guys. You don't need Virtuous for a spell trap negate. You need Virtuous for his monster negate. But it says right here, when a spell trap is activated, quick effect, send a face of Ancient Warriors continuous spell trap you control to the graveyard, negate the activation. So right here, just off of those 2 cards, you can actually overlay. And I'm going to show you multiple ways. Summon number 4, and then detach. Summon number 5. And what's super cool about this setup right here of these 2 cards is spell trap negate, right? Omni negate. When you use Toad, you can use Toad, negate, effective Toad, add Sun Mu, Ingenious, negate, send 3 visits for cost, special Sun Mu, which is super duper cool. And if you time it right, I'll show you another combo. You can actually get Sun Mu up on the board, then you'll activate Double Dragon Lord's effect, and then you'll actually trigger his effect, so you get 2 bounces on your opponent's turn. So going back to that same combo, Tinky and 3 visits. So let's say we're right here. Cost has been paid, yada yada yada, rough. We've added this off of Zhukong. So what you can also do, now I'm not saying I would recommend it because I just think this is a better in board, but you can also do this. You can take this right here, and it depends which one you want to trigger off of your Double Dragon Lords, because either way it's going to be 2 disruptions. So this guy's an effect negation, it's an effect veiler, this guy's a bounce. So whichever one you want to keep is the one you're going to get rid of. So let's say you're like, I already have a bounce, you know, I don't need another bounce. You'll go ahead and take these 2 right here. I'm sorry, you can't take these 2, you have to use the wind, right? So you'll take this guy right here. This should be in defense. Summon Double Dragon Lords, activate Double Dragon Lord's effect, and you're actually going to get 3 disruptions off of the 2 cards. This is just more of a pure Ancient Warrior combo right here. So you grab yourself a copy of Rebellious Lu Fang and special him, because he added him, and you control, you know, obviously Ancient Warriors is pretty easy to summon. So now you have disruption here, disruption here, disruption here. So the totally awesome combo with Virtuous or Ingenious is better post siding, because people are going to side hate through their side deck, right? This is better against, like, let's say a combo deck. It's better to have a pop, a negate, and a bounce, as opposed to a very, very soft spell or trap negate that doesn't destroy. Which, I mean, doesn't really matter because it's going to leave, but anyways, I just want to point out soft negate. And then also, just the Toad. Now, like, the first board I showed you guys off Tinky 3 visits is a lot easier to break, because it's not much, you know, like, protecting each other, but, like, when you have a bounce and a pop, you can, all these cards protect themselves. So this is why I wanted to point out this combo to you guys, just to show you, because I think it's pretty valuable. The other thing is, let's just say, for example, like, we could take it a step further, convert that 2-card combo into a 3-card combo where you had an extra copy of Sun Mu. So what happens is, when you use Double Dragon Lords on your opponent's turn to send 3 visits, you will bounce one of your opponent's cards, summon Sun Mu in a separate chain link. You can actually chain block with this and this. So prioritize whichever one you want to resolve. Then you get a bounce, you get a negate, you get a bounce, and you get a pop. And that would be a 3-card combo. And the 3-card combo would be as follows. Sun Mu Tinky 3 visits will get you this. Same combo, just add an extra card because you searched the 3 visits and you're going to get more use out of it. Now let's say you drew Tinky plus 2 3 visits. You're going to end on the same board because Double Dragon Lords will just search you the Sun Mu. You'll search whichever piece you're missing. So if you have 3 visits, search the Sun Mu of Double Dragon Lords. If you have the Sun Mu, search the 3 visits, and vice versa. So now I will show you guys And these are all, if you guys have better combos, I understand. This is just what I came up with playtesting by myself. I'm pretty sure there's people who have better combos, so it's, you know, if you know something better than me, congratulations. So we're gonna go ahead and Tinky. This is more of like a, let's say you're going second, right? So I'm gonna grab some of these guys, because there's a lot of options for going second and breaking boards. More often than not, you're gonna rely, these are the guys that you're gonna rely more on going second. He's in between. He can be used going first or going second. These are the guys which are gonna set you up for going first. So like these 4 cards right here are gonna be for setting up going first. Sunmu, Zukong, and Zukong and then Zhaokong. These 4 right here are better for setting you up. These are for going for pushes, so a lot of times when you're going second, if you didn't draw these guys, you're going to search them, because these help you to clear fields. This helps to clear fields, this helps to clear fields, this obviously does, this obviously does. All these are super aggressive. Like if you don't play Ancient Warriors going second, you miss out on, like this guy, you just cannot play him, completely cut him. He's going to be like a 1-of if you even play him. And this guy is maybe a 1-of if you play him. I still recommend playing this guy because he's just super nice. Especially Fearsome Zhang Yuan gets really good with East by South winds, because you get that pop and you declare an attack, and then he has his own effect to pop as well. Super duper nice. And all of that will still trigger Ambitious Cow, and he'll actually kill something and then special summon it to your field. And he is a Dragoon. When you have other Ancient Warriors, he's just like Dragoon. 3,000, untargetable, indestructible. Double Dragon Lords will boost him to 3,500, so he's going to be pretty beefy. So just helping you guys out. These are just some pointers. I'm still going to get on with the combo. So let's say you're going second. Again, it's a big thing on whether or not this resolves, but you would Tinky out for Lu Xuan. You would activate 3 visits, normal summon Lu Xuan, and Lu Xuan would trigger 3 visits to add Sun Mu. And keep in mind, you can also add Lu Feng, you can also add Cao Di, you can also add Shang Yuan. You know, anything that's not a wind attribute can be added here. So your dark, your fire, your water, all of these are fair game, you know. Sun Mu can still search any of these guys, so instead of skipping a step and going straight to them, it's better to get Sun Mu online, because that's an extra body. It's going to help you going second, because 2 level 4s is Utopia to double. If you slap the Mystic Mine right here, that Mystic Mine is going to make sure you one-shot them with the Utopia to double. So at this, then you can trigger Lu Xuan. You're actually going to send 3 visits for cost. This is also going to help to mitigate Nash just by a little bit, or an Effect Veil or whatever it is. And you're going to go ahead and special summon out from your deck either Zhaokong, Zhaokong should I say, Zhaokong, or Fearsome, or Ambitious. It's totally up to you. It depends how aggressive you're trying to go right away, but keep in mind you have 2 more searches off Sun Mu and Double Dragon Lords, so any of the big guys can still come out. So I would go for Zhaokong, and then I'm just gonna start calling him Shao Kahn, even though it's Zhao Gong with the G. I might just call him Shao Kahn just to give him a nickname. Then next up, you're going to separate chain 3 visits special Sun Mu. Now Sun Mu can send Shao Kahn can send Tinky, and add yourself something that's gonna, like, this is perfect, a perfect follow-up for Dark Ruler No More. So you're gonna add East by South winds with Shao Kahn. You're gonna activate Sun Mu, send the East by South for cost from your field, and you're going to go ahead and search yourself out 1 of these, or even Ingenious. It's totally up to you. It depends how many heavy hitters you need, because you could search Lu Feng and then still search out Cao Di. And the cool thing is, these actually work really well together. So like, let's say you search Lu Feng, you summon him, you know, you make your Double Dragon Lords, you search Cao Di. So what happens is you can summon Rebellious, use his effect to pop, and then that would trigger Cao Di, because what happened is a card your opponent control was destroyed by battle or card effect. You'll be able to pitch something, summon him out, and he's huge. So just options here, you know. Normally Lu Feng is guaranteed, because he's just, even when you're going for game, if you can't secure game, he's something that you can end on that can still play on your opponent's turn. So I lean towards him more often than I lean towards these guys. But you will add Shukong and summon him because he was added by Sun Mu. And don't forget that you will also going to separate chain trigger east by south. So here you'll have a chain block of like chain link 1 this, chain link 2 that. It depends which one you want to resolve more. But this will give you that blanket protection. It would have been nice to start off with this, but I'll show you another combo like that. So blanket protection, and also the Shukong is going to hit the field. So from here you have a lot of options. So like obviously Utopia the double is an option. If you're under Dark Ruler, you're obviously not going to OTK. So what you want to do is end on the nicest board you can get to. So what I would do here is I would go like Toad. Like this is just an example. This is one of the many things you can do. Summon Toad. You can link these off. Go into Double Dragon Lords. And Double Dragon Lords can either add Lu Fang, which is not a good idea if you want to use this effect. So I would probably add Wan or Cal D, because you're going to pop a lot of cards with the East by South. Or another cool thing is, you can actually add a 3 visits, and I can actually explain to you why that would be relevant. And that would go into the next thing that I want to explain was, if you had Tinky plus 3 visits plus Sun Mu, you can do this thing where you set up a very similar combo, a very similar board, where you search 3 visits, you can activate it, and what happens is when you play on your opponent's turn, after you kill as much cards as you can kill, because if you're under Dark Ruler, you're not OTKing, you can actually trigger this guy. So what could happen is you will actually be able to summon this guy out, and it's just a really cool way to be able to like play a bit more on your opponent's turn. But like if you're going for game, you're not going to search 3 visits. You're definitely going to search out like Ambitious or Wan, you know, like I was saying. And if you wanted to resolve Lu Fang, you wouldn't go Bahamut Shark Toad. You would actually just go for something like Utopia the double, you know, something like on the lines of that would just help to secure game. You know, if you're just trying to one-shot your opponent, you'd go for Utopia the double. You know, it's just up to you. There's just so many generic cards you can make. But Double Dragon Lords at that point, I would more than likely add the Cal D or the Lu Fang. Either one is totally fine. It really is. It's up to you. Another cool thing that I want to point out, if we go take a step back, is if you aren't going to use these for like an XYZ, what I would recommend is, this should be an attack, is take, this will let you draw when you declare an attack, by the way, with another guy. So if you want to get that free draw, if you value that, then go ahead and take it. But you can also take these, make Double Dragon Lords. That's something else that I forgot to mention is, like, let's say you leave these on the field and you turned Zhu Kong and Lu Zhuan into Double Dragon Lords, you'd actually trigger Sun Mu and Shao Kahn to bounce a monster and negate an effect monster's effect. And these guys can still attack and pop, and this guy will still search. And he will still search like a Lu Fang or a Cal D. And you actually, if you weren't under Dark Ruler, you could actually OTK your opponent. Because this would be 35, 16, 24, and 21. So 24 and 21 is 45. 45 plus 16 is 61. 61 plus 35 is actually 9,600. And even Lu Fang would be a great option. So there's just so many different routes that you can take with just working with these 4 if you're going second. There's just way too much you can do. And that includes if you want to end on something decent. For example, you can actually take these 2, link them off into Double Dragon Lords. You would still proc this guy to bounce. And if you just wanted to end on something decent, you can actually grab yourself a 3 visits. Because what you'll end on after clearing your opponent's field is another way of setting up disruptions. You've got like Bahamut Shark totally awesome, Lu Fang, Double Dragon Lords. I mean, heck, you could have made Baguska if you really wanted to. Baguska is also generic. Nothing's restricting you from summoning anything else. It's just, there's so many options. People really underestimate and undervalue Ancient Warriors. I don't mind it because it's not like I really want this deck to be popular. But the amount of plays you can make and just so much versatility in what you can end on and what you can do is what makes this deck, I think, skillful. Because there's so much you can do that it comes down to like the decision anxiety thing of like what is the best route, and that's what's going to allow you to perform the best with this deck when you are making the correct call with the resources that you have. So this is like another cool way to clear a field and still end on 1, 2, 3 disruptions. And again, this is off of the Tinky. This is off of the Tinky plus 3 visits. So this is still off of the 2 cards, and you would Tinky for the Lu Shuang. So it's still like a 2-card combo. But let's say you had, again, I know I sound like a broken record, but let's say you had like a Sun Mu or even another Shao Kahn. What would happen is when you end on this field right here, after you've declared an attack with East by South Wind's effect to pop, every time they declare an attack, you'll pop a card without targeting. You can actually use Shu Kong to negate a spell or trap, send 3 visits for cost. 3 visits will trigger, summon Shao Kahn, and that will also trigger Sun Mu to bounce, and that will also trigger Shao Kahn to negate, and then anytime you want, you can bounce. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 disruptions after breaking a board, and that's off of a 2, well actually this would be off a 3-card combo. If it's a 2-card combo, it's 3 disruptions, and I can't keep stressing enough how this is not the only board you can make. I mean, heck, I could waste 20 more minutes on every single generic card in the universe that you can make with this board, but I think you guys get my point. So I think I'm going to show you guys a big combo, and then I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up because I believe we are 26 minutes in. Yeah, so this is going to be a pretty big combo. This is like one of the, I'd say one of the best boards you can make, honestly, with this deck. So it's these cards, right? So what you'll do is you'll activate 3 visits. Actually, this East by South Wind should not be in my hand. It should be Tinky or Sun Mu. So what you'll do is you'll activate 3 visits, summon Shao Kahn. Shao Kahn will trigger 3 visits. You will grab yourself a Virtuous. I'm sorry, not a Virtuous, Ingenious. Trigger his effect, special. Use this effect, send 3 visits for cost. Grab yourself a copy of East by South Winds. Separate chain, 3 visits. Special. You'll activate East by South Winds. You'll go ahead and use Sun Mu, pay cost, so you can proc that graveyard effect. And there's just so many options that you have here. Like legitimately, there's so many. So you can go for like a Rebellious, for example, and you guys are gonna see where things come into play very nicely. So you can go for Rebellious, or you can grab yourself a another copy of Shao Kahn. Like, it's just, the options are there. So what you do is you would actually summon this guy out. I'm trying to remember this combo correctly, because this could be totally awesome with double Dragon Lords, and double Dragon Lords can actually set you up this way. Double Dragon Lords can get you 3 visits, and the 3 visits can be triggered off of double to summon this. The Totally Awesome can also recur one of your Ancient Warriors, so like that's a cool setup. I think I'm going to show you like a more pure Ancient Warrior board that you can end on though. So Sun Mu, go ahead and add Shao Kahn, or actually Sun Mu, go ahead and add the Lu Feng, my bad. And what we'll do here is we will go ahead and take, I'd say these guys. Or actually this time we'll keep the effect negation. Say these guys. Go double Dragon Lords effect to grab 3 visits. And this is where that extra Ancient Warrior's name really comes into play. You'll then special Lu Feng, activate the 3 visits, and this would be your ending board going first. So you would have spell trap negate, pop, effect negation, and a bounce. But it goes again to that, like let's say you just had that random Sun Mu in your hand. you would actually turn it into 5 disruptions. But you're on 4. You got a bounce here, a negate here. Super duper cool though. So you got a pop, an effect negate, a bounce, and a spell trap negate. So you have spell trap negate, monster negate, a bounce, and a pop, plus another bounce if you need it to be. So that's just like one of the biggest combos you can do with this deck. And also, if you don't want to make like an all Ancient Warriors in board, you can end on, I'm just going to speed it up because like the video's actually about to be over. So you could actually end on this setup. This is another cool setup that you can end on. I'm sorry there's not very much time to show you the combo, but I'll show you the board that the combo makes. So this guy will be engrave. You have this guy. I'm sorry. Yeah, because you would use the other guys to make. So what you would end up doing with this setup is Toad negates, Toad adds. This guy negates, sends this gets specialed. That triggers this guy to negate, that triggers this guy to bounce. Then anytime you want, this guy can bounce. So you have Omni negate, spell trap negate, effect monster negate, bounce for monsters, and then anything bounce. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 disruptions. And you guys, to be honest, the fact that this deck can even put out 2 or more disruptions is good enough for me. But again, this is Ancient Warriors. You guys are seeing the potential of this deck. It's very powerful going first, very powerful going second. It's not going to play through as many hand traps as other decks can, but I will say Lu Feng, and also 3 visits, and Fire Formation Tensu. I don't have any, but Tensu. So 3 Tensu, 3 Lu Feng, 3 visits will easily help you to play through hand traps every single time you draw them. And when you're going second, these are the cards that help you out to play through hand traps. This guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. And I think that should be it. So these guys also help you to play through hand traps only if you go second. This guy, if you're going first, for sure, he's a really good extender. He's very good, and his effect is pretty powerful. These guys, these are all 1-ups though. They're searchable 1-ups. This guy is a 3-of in the going second build because he's like a Pankratops. He's really good. You summon him, force a negate automatically. If it's an Apollousa, you literally just drop Apollousa to 2400 attack and you can smack it anytime you want. Card's just amazing. Honestly, great addition. And he's a wind, so he gives you just way quicker access to Double Dragon Lords. Super awesome. So yeah, you guys, thank you so much for watching this video. God bless you. Make good choices. Don't hurt your brain cells. Stay tuned for future content. And again, I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you want more content like this and you're interested in more rogue decks and just showing you guys that so many decks have potential that people just don't really give the time of day. I'm not saying I want everybody in the world to play this deck, but I just wanted to show you guys that this deck doesn't suck at all. But yeah, you guys, thank you so much. Peace.